All right, so we are going to make a graph of barometric pressure and temperature over time. We want to see the interaction between those two variables. We want to see how they're related to each other and how when one changes, another might change. So we're going to do this one by hand. I've already done a few steps on this without you. I actually started another recording a minute ago, but the dogs were fighting with each other and became loud. So I'm having to start over again for like the 13th time. That's okay though. I'm going to show you how I got to this point. So you're going to want to select graph paper on Notability. To do that, you go to the vertical dots that are in the upper right hand corner. And then you select paper, and then you can select your graph paper, which you can see that I have selected. All right, then you're going to insert photos. You want to insert screenshots of temperature data and then screenshots of barometric data. So I went to Google Sheets, I took a screenshot of my temperature data, and then I took a screenshot of my barometric pressure data. Then I used the plus sign. I went to my photo library, and I entered those into this document. All right, then I have drawn my X and Y axis here. Sorry, hang on. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we are gonna only choose one point of temperature data to graph. And so we're gonna choose that one. I'm just choosing temperature at 4 p.m. in degrees Fahrenheit. You can choose whatever you want, but whichever one you choose, so that this is mine right here, whichever one you choose, you're gonna need to write that on the side here, which I'll show you where to write it. All right. So I'm gonna come down here, and since I'm using temperature at 4 in degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to label that here. So whatever temperature data you choose, you're going to label it on your y-axis. This is our dependent variable. And we're actually going to graph two dependent variables, but I'll show you how to do that in a second. Temperature degrees Fahrenheit at 4 p.m. I'm going to leave some space between where I wrote that and the graph. That's important. Sometimes we forget to do that. All right. So that's where I'm going to graph my temperature. On the x-axis here, this is going to be days. So I'm starting with Monday, March 16th. So this is how you're going to set up your graph. Monday, March 16th. Okay, my next day is Tuesday. I'm going to put T. Tuesday, March 17th. Wednesday, March 18th. Thursday, you can put TR if you want. March 19th. And so on. So you're just going to get, if you can't get all your days in there, it's okay. Just do however many you can fit on this point here. Just as long as we get some data, we're good. And then I'm going to be graphing temperature. So I'm going to just go through here and make these hash marks. All right, so I'm doing Fahrenheit, and my highest temperature is 83. My lowest is in the 70s, so I could go by a lot, obviously, but I want to see the difference between the different points here, so I don't want to go by too many. I think I'm just going to go, I'm going to go by tens. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, at 4 p.m. on Monday, March 16th in degrees Fahrenheit, well, that was my temperature. It was 73. I'm looking at my screenshot up there. So I'm going to make a mark there. It's not quite halfway, which would be 75. So there's my mark for that one. Tuesday, March 17th, 4 p.m., I was 81 degrees. So I'm going to make my mark right above the 80. Wednesday, March 18th, 4 p.m. was 80 degrees, right on the line. Thursday, March 19th, was also 80 degrees. Okay. So then this is continuous data, which means it is connected over time. So I can make a line graph. So I'm going to try to, as neatly as possible, connect my dots. So please try to make your lines straight. You can actually do that on here if you hold down a little bit longer. It'll make a straight line for you between each dot if you hold down your pencil or finger longer. But I just kind of tried to do my best there, and you can see that it's pretty neat. All right, we're then going to put our barometric pressure in here. So I'm going to choose a different color, a darker one that's not going to be something super bright that you can't read. Please don't choose like bright yellow. I'm not going to be able to read that, so I'm not going to be able to give you credit. I'm going to choose this darker purple. All right, so Monday, March 16th, I want to look at the barometric pressure. Jada has here that it was 30.19. Okay, and then for Tuesday, it's lower. It's 30.16. For Wednesday, it's 30.25, which is higher. And for Thursday, it's 30.27. Okay, you're going to graph that for all the data, all the days that you can fit on this x-axis, as many as you can. Then you're going to come down here and you're going to tell me something. You're going to tell me, what do you notice about the relation between temperature and air pressure? You might say, as temperature either increases or decreases, barometric pressure or air pressure increases or decreases. Okay, that could be one way that you put that. All right, I think that is going to be all we're going to do for today, because I know the graphing can be a little bit exhausting, and again, I really want you to do a good job writing and describing what you see. Please write in complete sentences and describe completely. Don't phone it in when we write stuff, because I'm not there to ask you, hey, what do you mean by this sentence, or can you redo this? Just do it right the first time. Describe completely. It's really important, as we've talked about so many times, to communicate clearly in writing as a scientist. All right. Thank you guys very much. You can also read the written instructions that are on the slideshow, and I hope that you have a good night. I'll talk to you later.